Yeah, I think that's what kind of playoffs in general is about, but especially early on in series, early on in games, try to be physical. But thought we, myself and the rest of us got away from it a little bit in the second, but then we came back in the third with the same effort. So all in all, happy with how it went. A lot of things that we can get better at, but you never complain after a win, especially in playoffs. So on to game two.
Left side, fourth row. Go ahead.
Yeah, for both you guys, I mean, we've talked about Bob so much throughout the season, throughout the playoffs. To shut out a team like the Rangers in the playoffs to help set the tone, just how big was he, especially knowing not a lot the first few periods and then flurries in the third for him to be able to do what he was able to do, to shut them out?
Yeah, I mean, he's been unbelievable. Are you talking about Bob, right? Yeah, he's been unbelievable all playoffs, and I mean, I can't say enough about him. He works so hard, and to have him back there, we have so much confidence, and we just try and play as hard as D as we can, and obviously when we need him, he always comes up big, and yeah, I can't say enough about him.
Yeah, he was really good. We did a good job blocking shots, and when we needed him, he was huge, especially with a couple of the breakaways. So yeah, he gives us a lot of confidence back there.
Front right, Mike.
Matthew, you said last night that we'll see what this series has in store for you, just because last one was more of a playmaking type of series for you. How much especially in the Eastern Conference Final last year, you were scoring big goals. How much do you put that pressure on yourself going into a pivotal series like this?
Yeah, I don't put any pressure on myself to score or produce offense. I guess that's part of my game, big part of my game. But at the end of the day, like, it's not about myself here. So there's a way bigger goal ahead. Guys on our team that didn't score tonight were some of our best players. So like it could be somebody different each and every night, but there is so much buy-in from everybody that nobody cares who's producing, who's doing whatever, who's doing the hitting. I mean, at the end of the day, we're here for wins. That's it.
Front right, Mark.
Hey, Carter. It seemed like Matthew did set a tone a bit, certainly early on, and I'm just curious what that first goal on the road in this building did for you guys.
Yeah, I think it started with this big hit in the first, and then the big goal. I mean, it definitely got us going. It took a lot of momentum out of their sails. I think anytime you're on the road and you can get the first goal, and I think you take the crowd out of it a little bit, and kind of we like playing with the lead, and it kind of lets us settle down into our game kind of thing. And yeah, obviously the goal and hit and everything was huge. Chucky was awesome.
Left side, front row.
Carter, on your goal, the own goal, what was kind of your perspective on the play? What were you trying to do there, and just how did you see it all unfold?
Yeah, I was trying to get the puck out, and I saw the goalie come out, and he shot it to the boards. I just picked up the puck and tried to make a play to the net. I think Chucky was going back door. Tried to put it on his tape, but put it on someone else's tape, and it went in, luckily.
Left side, second row.
Matthew, do you see something in the personality of this team where they're comfortable in very uncomfortable situations?
Yeah, I think it starts with, we talked a little bit about it yesterday, but our training camps are not fun, and it gets you an uncomfortable feeling right away when it comes to, what the work, just how hard you need to work, what it takes to win. We've gone through in the last, since I've been here, some really big ups and downs, and gone through some stuff that has just made us stronger. So coming here into a hostile environment, playing against the best team in the league, it's stacked up against you pretty good in game one especially. But I don't know, we took that as motivation. We just wanted to come out and play strong, and we played good. Like I said, we could be a lot better, but we were pretty stingy. So I think that's probably the biggest biggest thing I'm proud of today.
Take a few more for the guys. Left side, fifth row, Greg.
Matthew, you mentioned being pretty stingy. There was a stretch of like 14 minutes in the second period where the Rangers didn't have a shot on goal. And I guess first off, are you guys aware when that happens? And second off, what do you do so well to suppress shots with that kind of stretch of time?
I was not aware of that. No. I don't really know, like, defense moving it quick, blocking shots. I thought guys, the forwards and especially the D tonight did a great job of blocking shots and boxing guys out. Bob was able to see most of the shots. We were very disciplined tonight, staying out of the box. And when we did take penalties, our penalty kill was so good. So I don't really have an answer for that, but I think when we're playing hard, we're forechecking hard, we're keeping it in their zone, and we're not allowing them in our zone.
This is for Matthew. How important was it to get that first goal as a team and to win this first game of the series?
Yeah, it's more important to get the first win than the first goal. But with that being said, to be able to take, the crowd out of it a little bit early is huge. They're unbelievable fans here and really loud and make it a very fun building to play in, like I've said a bunch. But getting the first goal, playing with the lead is a huge thing, especially in playoffs. And able to try to build on that lead is something we're gonna have to, what we were trying to work on and tried to do. But at the end of the day, we played really well defensively, and I guess all it took really was one, and then we got a big goal from Carter in the third to give us a little bit of breathing room.
Take 2 more questions, front left.
For either one, obviously not asking you specifically what it is, but is there a game plan against Igor? And if so, how well do you think you executed it beyond just, creating traffic and taking away his eyes?
I think there's a game plan for every goalie. I think it doesn't change for really who we're playing. I think we want to get traffic, and anytime a goalie can't see a puck, we have a better chance of scoring. So I think we want to do that. I think we can definitely do a better job of that. And, I don't think it changes much who we play in net. I mean, he's obviously a really good goalie, and but, we just want to take away his eyes and get to the front of the net.
Take 1 more, back left.
Matthew, Barkov said in the dressing room that this was really your guys' type of game. What exactly does that mean to you, and why is that such a recipe for success, especially on the road?
Win 1-0, be physical, good on the forecheck. I guess it was kind of your ideal road win for us and how we want to play. We're very comfortable in the low-scoring games. We've got a lot of offensive guys on the team, but guys have bought into a certain style of play that has worked for us and has to try to keep working for us. That's the best way to win in playoffs. It's a hard style to play, but it's a hard style to play against. So we're happy with this road win, keeping it low scoring, keeping it tight, and just supporting each other all over the ice, playing in 5-man units and just playing really hard defensively. That's how we got to be.
So what's really interesting about Sergei is I think he's still learning. And the Tampa series had a whole bunch of that, blocks of time without shots, and then it's Kucherov. So it would just spike, right? They'd get 2 or 3 great chances. Savannah Jad's power play chance on that seam. That's an incredible save. I think you have to be a veteran goalie to do what he did tonight. Sit for a while, make huge saves, and then sense the last 10 minutes of the game. That's where he has to be, Sergei. So he's had a bit of this, and this kind of almost started happening to us in March, where we had really unusual offensive games against us. Our defensive game was kind of rounding into shape a little bit, so we would get these blocks of time where there wasn't any action, but it doesn't matter. I mean, you're playing the President Trophy winner, the best team in the National Hockey League. They're getting theirs, and he was that good.
Coach, over here. In the back. Obviously, there's a lot of leaders in that room, but what did it mean for Matthew to be the one throwing those early big hits and getting that first goal, just in terms of leading the boys out there tonight?
Yeah, they spread it around here. We've had, times of kind of the Barkov time, and early in the Tampa series, he and Verhaeghe, Matthew and Verhaeghe, were really, really strong. I think for him, I think it's almost our team, the players have kind of come to expect it, so it's not necessarily a huge boost in that, oh my God, Matthew scored a goal. But for him, it's kind of, that just gets him cooking.
Front right, Mike.
Paul, your fourth line tonight gave you
Yes.
some unbelievable shifts.
Yes.
What was the key for them?
I don't know about the key. They were just on the puck and fast and detailed. I agree. I don't know the why of it. They've been good. So when you look at our playoff run, we've had Okposo come in and Lorenz come in the Tampa series. They scored 2 huge goals for us in one game, and that was the difference. So we've got this kind of, I think I said it earlier, there's a competition for the fourth line until the playoffs, and then they're competing together. Lots of energy. It might be the best game I've seen Ryan Lomberg play. So they didn't score, so it's not that. But the technical parts of his game, the energy's always there, the physicality's always there, but those guys were sharp and on pucks, and I agree with you. That would be what I said when I came into the room at the end of the game, was just to point out how good that line was for us.
Back left, Luke.
You mentioned Lomberg. What did you think of the goalie interference call?
I thought it was right, because it's the call I would want on Sergei. But the best goalies in the world need a bit of protection. I don't think there was any malice in what Ryan did. But you get in that deep to the crease, and then he is trying to get out and he gets pushed in. I get all that. But you start that by starting in the crease fairly deep. So, you know what? I'm sitting on the bench going, look, it's 1-0 going into the call. If it goes our way, it's 2-0. We're exactly where we were. So I thought they got it right. I thought whoever's making that final call, I thought that was fair. I wasn't complaining about it.
Front right, Mark.
Paul, can you speak to the early on game that Matthew had? Even prior to the goal, he laid a couple good hits on, and what did that goal do? It seemed to set a tone, his physicality, and obviously the goal.
It was smart because it was a shot off the rush instead of trying to wait for more or find more. Sometimes it's just the simplicity that we need in our game to kind of set a bit of a tone, and then we got away from it. So after that, we had 3 pucks at the offensive line that we turned over. It's not even a turnover. It was a decision that didn't work necessarily, and what he did, I thought, tonight is righted our team back to the simple parts of our game. So when this is true of, you always want to do more, right? These are the best players in the world, and they're capable of doing more. But sometimes the less is just way better, and it's also quite a bit smarter. And I thought he led in that department. There wasn't a lot of creativity in his game. That's not a bad thing. Most of his special creativity happens in about a 3-foot area around him with his wrists and his hands, and you go, how the hell did he do that? How did he tip that puck? But it's kind of playoff hockey. It's happening so fast out there. There's not a lot of room to create. And he didn't try to push that envelope. I thought that was very good of him. As a leader, especially. He's one guy that we've had, I think, what do you have, 114 points at one time. So you look at those players and say, that's where your creativity will come from. And when he plays a simple game, then everybody else can fall in.
Left side, second row.
Coach Matthew was just in here and he mentioned that there's a lot you can improve on. I'm sure as a
Yeah.
coach you might agree with that, but can you just touch on what you liked? I mean, very stingy. It seemed like you guys were winning most of the battles out there tonight.
It's a fair question, and I think it's accurate. I think his assessment is accurate. I don't know that I want to walk you through what I liked and didn't like. In fairness, that's kind of, look at, I've got a really fairly strong idea about what Peter's going to want to improve in his game, and I got one in mind. We got a list that we've started already going, this guy needs to see video, this guy's got to see video, that's got to change, and he's going to do the exact same thing. So there'll be parts of their game that are going to look way better next game because it'll become a focus. Everybody needs the first game. The best offense tonight by both teams missed the net. That'll be something everybody looks at, right? Because I'm not sure that the best offense was in the net.
Take 3 more questions, front right.
Paul, the Rangers talked a lot about how hard it was to get through the neutral zone, how hard it was for them to hang on to the puck. Just what made your team so effective at that?
That's kind of the way we play. I thought we were just okay with it, to be honest with you. I don't think that we were. Well, we gave up 2 breakaways. That's a neutral zone problem because there was a guy alone skating with the puck straight through it. So we got to fix that. I will tell you this. All of these games are so close. The scores almost doesn't tell you anything because it's a turn of a puck. It's a puck that we blocked that they didn't, or a pass that we made, and it's 2 or 3, and that's the difference. So in this building, they get 1, they catch fire, right? Even after the kill, I mean, the major push came after their kill, and it was a great kill. And then, I don't know, they cracked a bar. It was a shit show in front of our net, and Sergei held. But that's the inflection point for me in the game. We were able to survive that moment.
2 more questions. Front left.
Yes.
This morning, you said the change to the second line was all about Anton Lundell and his fit there. I mean, after tonight's game, I mean, how well can you say I mean, how much did he contribute to the cohesion of that line that looked pretty strong throughout the game?
It's +3 at the end of the game. He made one play. That's just the coach. What an ass. I was going to say, he made one play I didn't like, and that's what I bring up, right? The guy played a hell of a game. He's +3, and I'm going to bring up the play I didn't like. You know, there's some leadership going on there too. So the things that make Matthew Tkachuk special is you can take a guy who's kind of coming into his 3rd year, give him that shot, and he's encouraging that kid on the bench. You know, he's directing, he's intense with him. So Anton Lundell feels now as a guy in really his 2nd full hard year in the NHL in terms of playoffs, that he can contribute, he plays, and he drives. Now his expectations of himself change. And that's not the coaches. That's the most important person in a player's life is the guy sitting beside him, especially when you're young. That's where the real mentorship happens. I can tell him about systems and things like that. But Matthew will say, when you come in under that puck, roll your hips under here, get under that puck. That's stuff I can't teach. So really liked Anton's game, except for the one play in the second period. And then I think Matthew would be the guy that you have to talk to, and Sam Bennett at times as well, for making the move as a player at a very young age. He was really good tonight.
Our last question on the left side, 3rd row.
Coach, I know it's only game 1, but in the first 2 rounds against a team like Tampa and Boston, where there are some sort of built-in rivalries already, you know, it seems like there's a little bit extra after the whistles. Tonight there wasn't much of that, especially with your team. Is that a conscious effort to keep this team off the power play, knowing how dangerous it is, or just is it the emotion of the series just beginning?
Well, I would like to think it's maturity, like that we've gotten better, that we've matured. There's no value in it after. The New York Rangers are a veteran enough team that you are not intimidating them, right? So the stuff after the whistle, there's of no value. And this is a more focused, more disciplined group. We've been an exceptionally disciplined team from about midway through the Tampa series. So and it's not the kind of discipline that we're running around foolishly. We had 5 high sticking penalties and 4 tripping penalties, like in the first 4 games of that series, and then it just died. So this isn't a lack of anger. As the series goes, there's going to be a few more flare-ups. That's true of every series that's played in the NHL. And rivalries are built on playoff series. So as we get through this, this was not a particularly physical game based on our experience, but that's more kind of the teams we happen to hit. You hit Boston twice. I mean, we had 86 hits in the first game of that game 1 last year, and they were all real. It was before they adjusted to the new program. There was 86 real hits. It was the heaviest game I've ever seen in my life. So I didn't find that was a story in this game.
Thank you for your
Okay,
time,
everybody.
Paul.
Thank you.